Hey guys, I'm back and we are playing Battlefield 6. Not a whole load planned today. We're just gonna chill play and try to get my cord to level 50 if possible, if time permits, and I play enough. We're pretty close. Uh, that is the main goal of this today's live stream plan. But I do have a bit of a talking point I want to maybe talk about. And we'll start off with the talking point, and I'll play a little bit, and then maybe she'll play beyond that or whatever, depends. So, talking point today is revolves around AI. Like, I actually haven't really talked or like shared my opinion on AI all that much. Uh, most, my most, I think for the bulk of my opinion on AI, I'm actually pro AI integration into the world. I do see the potential future benefits once it's been ironed out properly. I do also, on the flip side, acknowledge the fact that like the environmental like issues that it causes at the moment is sort of unacceptable, especially considering the kind of extent that people think it's going to be useful. I like my opinion is it is going to be useful in the future, but not quite to the extent that maybe corporations are hoping it will be useful, right? So I do think like maybe like going as hard as like a lot of these corporations have been going is maybe been a little bit on the extreme side, especially considering the environmental hazards and all. Um, but also, like I said, I generally don't engage in the AI conversation mainly because personally, like the effects of like the evolution of AI is not gonna. I don't know. It doesn't directly impact me personally to that level where it might have on other people. Arguably, AI already affected me. That only people now, like some in the other fields of, like like other fields, like job fields and stuff, are only experiencing now. Like I'm a professional photographer technically, not really. I don't do it anymore. I sort of disliked it and stopped doing it. But I did graduate from college with a professional degree in photography, commercial photography, and stuff like that, and also commercial advertising and stuff. And just seeing how like the digital photography age has completely ruined traditional professional photography to the point where like I said, I have no interest. It's sort of a joke career now, like in my opinion. Like back in the day there was a very high skill in photography, especially for people that knew how to utilize and the tools like processing film, uh, utilizing lighting, and executing a professional quality image on film, versus now where you sort of can, to the point, literally don't even need to take a picture anymore. You can auto generate pictures to your liking. But when I was studying, it was sort of like that evolution going from film into the digital age of photography. So you already seen things like processing black and white film getting phased out of my college. Like I was lucky enough to join my college when we were still learning those things. But by the time I was in my advanced years of college, it had completely been phased out of like the curriculum. Uh, Also seeing how you could sort of screw up your photos like while at the shoot, but completely redeem it through digital like editing, right? And even the whole like Photoshop and stuff, like you saw the evolution of like what was the early stages of like artificial intelligence like fixing photos. There was a little bit more level of manual editing in Photoshop that was very familiar to what you could do in the uh, dark room with your photos, right? Like back in the day. But as Photoshop and the digital things evolved very quickly, there's more and more things you could do. And then on top of that, it developed even further where they started creating little tools that would automate what used to be like either manual or even like just a human required editing on Photoshop, right? So there was automated tools. And like it's gotten to the point now, like, like those, like a lot of those filters that you have on your iPhone and stuff like that, those used to either not at all be possible or required a very high skill when you're using it in like a dark room to do like photography. And then to the point now where like even 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls are able to apply very high-end filter effects onto their either videos now even, but also photos in an instant, right? So that kind of like concept of a professional photographer, right, sort of got replaced very quickly through the development of the AI technology in photography, right? And this was happening well before AI tools were actually very popular in and like now, like sort of like the big, like you see these like AI tools coming up and you see a lot of people getting very scared. Is my job safe? Am I going to like get replaced by AI and all? Like I said, that sort of like happened much earlier in photography than you realize. Like even like, the camera evolution, right? From like manual cameras on film and stuff like that. How it evolved into the digital age now where like your phone camera, like the camera on like a lot of your smartphones are almost as powerful as some of what the professional cameras were just a few years ago, right? So that whole like digital AI kind of evolution in photography, I think happened a lot sooner than what you're seeing in like current day, like job scenarios and stuff like that. And like I said, I personally don't feel like I was like replaced by AI. I just stopped liking photography and just the whole like concept of promoting myself in the advertising industry and all. So I have like no blame, like, but I saw that happening. Like an extreme case of this scenario, and we will get to gameplay. Just I'm doing this intro and then we'll jump into gameplay. But an extreme example of this was I went to a school called Brooks Institute of Photography. Okay, this was the college I went to. And back in the early days, like before even like maybe when I was a kid, right? This college was considered like the upper echelon of photography. Like the photographers that like graduated from the school were the best of the best, right? It was like top notch. What's up, Dub? What's up, Aegon? I'll read your chat in a bit. Just give me a second. And then, like I said, when I went to that college, things were slowly getting phased out of the old manual kind of like traditional style of photography and started evolving into the digital age of photography into that college, right? The joke is the digital age became so simplistic for so many people that what used to be the best college for photographers back in the day shut down. Like the college I went to no longer exists. I mean, I obviously graduated in this weird time where it was transitioning between the old ways of film and all that and the new ways of digital. So I sort of saw both worlds when playing, like when studying, which I appreciate as a education, right? But yeah, as the digital age evolved to that extreme nature, that college became irrelevant because it became so easy to do those things that were like such high-end skills back in the day, right? So yeah, that's kind of like the extreme example of like how AI sort of just completely replaced what used to be humans, right? It completely shut down one of the most top-notch colleges in the world for photography. And this was happening before even like the AI craze was hitting the rest of the world, like I said, right? Like that college closed down years before AI even was a buzzword right now that it is, right? So what am I getting at? Why am I saying this? Like I said, I have this like knowledge of like how AI has sort of like ruined humanity in my like education as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not hating it. Like I'm like, dude, I see a lot of value to it, right? The talking point for today, okay, and then we'll just jump into game and then we'll continue, is this. A minute. This skin. It's got me thinking, and certain recent progressions in what is going on with AI and various AI tools got me thinking even further about this skin. So those of you who don't know, this is one of the reward skins from Season 1's Battle Pass Pro limited time kind of bonus path or whatever the fuck they want to call it. I don't give a shit, right? And it caused a bit of controversy because of that mask. I don't know if I can zoom into it or anything because I don't really own this thing. I didn't own the Battle Pass Pro. But that mask is got a design, like that white design of like that kind of skull face design, is very reminiscent to Call of Duty's character Ghost, like in the Modern Warfare franchise. Specifically to the design elements, not just similar, but a lot of key elements are pointing at it being identical, if not completely ripped from the Call of Duty Ghost franchise. Like, I'm not sure exactly where this particular design is from. I think it was the cover art of the Ghost, Call of Duty Ghost thing. But it was definitely a key design, like down to very specific points. Like you need to look it up. A lot of people have talked about it, but there are like specific cracks in that white design. The kind of shapes of the drips on the bottom are matching very, very close, if not identical, to that Ghost design from Call of Duty, which is Activision. So what I'm on is Battlefield EA, and Call of Duty Ghost is Activision, now Microsoft Activision, right? And again, this design, very easily legally arguable, was ripped completely one-to-one almost, with minor adjustments from that Call of Duty Ghost game, right? So in the past, when this thing would happen, usually there's a human to be blamed. Oh, this rogue employee copy and pasted this art from another game or from some other person and stole it from them, and he's going to be fired or he's going to be reprimanded, and then the company sort of like quietly pays off whoever they stole from, right? But it's usually blamed on some rogue employee. Whereas in this case, yeah, it might have been an employee who utilized this for the character model, but it is more likely that this was an AI generated design that an employee utilized. So it's a little harder to blame the employee when he's using AI tools that are kind of part of the workflow in the EA company, right? Like this is like he's using a tool that is officially sanctioned by EA. He didn't go rogue here, right? And like, how would he know this is so close to the Ghost franchise that it is sort of creeping on copyright infringement, right? He wouldn't. So you can't blame rogue employee. You sort of can blame rogue AI though, right? So this is the talking point that I want to briefly talk while I'm playing. Hopefully I can discuss it to like some level while playing, right? But yeah, I wanted to show this. I wanted to like talk about why I've been thinking about it and why I don't have hate for AI, but I have concerns for it, right? And this sort of like recently brought up the concerns that I've just been thinking about. Again, I don't have solutions. I don't have like answers. I have more questions than anything else regarding this. Let me just jump in. Chicho, move. So yeah, let's just get into game. Let me start playing a little bit, and then we'll continue the conversation. Rook, feel free to just join up, but I'm just going to be chatting about this here. Also, let me just check audio. Give me a second. Okay, we're good. Okay, so now my personal current experience with AI is so fucking limited. It's nuts. Like I literally don't have like any AI programs installed. I'm not subscribed to any of the AI tools or anything. I haven't even like tested any of them or tried them. The extent of my usage of AI, and the reason I'm like, yeah, this is sort of useful, is I'll Google search questions and then I'll read that little AI like prompt that pops up before all the links it shows you. And I read that and I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty good information for a summary of what I wanted. Like in my head, I don't know, a lot of you will remember, there used to be like a web search site called Ask Jeeves. So I use Google's AI for like that kind of style of like searching like content. I'm like, oh, ask Google, and I'll just read the Google AI kind of summary, and I won't bother clicking on any links, right? Because I just have like a question or something on looking up some topic or something like that, right? That is legitimately the extent of AI that I utilize nowadays. Very limited. Do I hate it or anything? Like, oh, if I see someone using photos or editing photos, do I have like any resentment? No, I think that's sort of the direction things went and needed to go, right, to be more accessible to the common man, right? And when I see corporations using it and all that, like, I do think there are ways and like uses of AI on a corporate level that should kind of like better workflow and increase like employee engagement and the way they handle situations and just overall speeding up like workflow in what should be a positive way. When I hear about like AI completely replacing humans and all that, I think there'll be certainly a certain extent of that will occur. That sort of always happens. You sort of have to kind of go with the times. You can't expect to like there's gonna be some casualties in like the kind of progression of humanity, right? And there's always gonna be something like that, right? But what's got me like questioning AI right now, right? And why I feel like maybe the reliance on it to the level it is definitely not the wisest decision, right? By corporations and not only the people investing in the development of AI heavily, but also the companies and that might be utilizing it, like, or like integrating it into their workflow on a heavier basis, right? Is that ghost mass is sort of the example of my worries, right? What it sort of sells you on, like when you're using AI, is it is a tool that is taking inspiration from others. Like it learns from others and then gets inspired and then creates something, right? That is sort of what it's selling you on, right? And that sounds great. That's how humans work, right? We learn, we see things, we get inspired, and then we create something unique of our own. But at the moment, and what I suspect AI will always be, is it learns, but it can't be creative enough to create something unique and new. It tends to learn and then copy and paste the results for you, right? There's a lot of copy and pasting and not necessarily recreating something unique and new. And that copy and pasting has the it's going to lead to a lot of things that potentially could be like copyright infringement, right? Like that ghost mask. It is definitely strange that wasn't like copyright infringement on Call of Duty didn't file a copyright infringement claim on EA for that. Like if that was an infringement, right, which it sort of is very closely looking like it should be at least legally arguable in court that this was copyright infringement, right? That skin would have been removed from the game immediately. I believe they are making adjustments to it. In fact, I think with this recent update, there will be an adjustment to it. So they are changing it around so it doesn't so closely resemble what it copied from, right? And then I think it will be fine, like there won't be. But usually something like Call of Duty, right? Even like in the modded community, like in the Portal mode, right? Where users create their own experiences sort of in this game. Whenever one of those users creates a map or something like that, right? Or an experience that is very similar to Call of Duty. Like recently, I think there was a user that created Shipment, which is a very popular map in Call of Duty. And then another user that had created some of the zombie experiences, but all in Portal, right? So using the creative tools for the users to kind of recreate stuff and all. Now, those recreations weren't one for one, but it was similar enough that copyright notices went to those people and they had to take it down, right? And either readjust it so they weren't infringing to a decent extent, or straight up just not publish it at all. Now, those things are completely free for users. It's a free experience. Portal isn't charging other users to utilize or to access those maps, right? So it's just users creating other content that, again, isn't even one for one, but it is close enough, right? So there are elements to it that look very close to it, to the point where the company is filing a takedown notice on them. Now, this happens very quickly. It comes out, and that user got that copyright notice very quickly, right? And it was taken down very quickly, all right? So why wasn't this ghost mask taken down equally as quickly, right? Because like I said, it might not win, but arguably in court, it should be close enough to be infringing, right? My thought process, now again, I don't know why this didn't get a copyright infringement on it, okay? But my thought process behind it is they might be using a Microsoft AI tool, right? Even if these AI tools are a lot of my YouTube, all my videos, I actually permit AI tools to train with my videos. YouTube has that kind of setting where it gives you that option, and I have it YouTube can train utilizing it, no issues, right? But even if you allow or even these companies allow training with their assets, right? Like, so say it's a Microsoft AI tool. A lot of the Microsoft games and stuff like that probably have been utilized to like train the AI, right? So clearly that ghost cover art would have been part of the training, right? Even through training, you're not permitting the AI tool to like one-to-one rip you off, like infringe on your property. You're allowing it to train it so it can do its own thing, right? And again, like I said, and this is again, theoretically, it's supposed to train and create its own, like learn from it and be able to create its own. But instead, what's happening right now, it's learning from it, and then it's just sort of copy and pasting things, right? And in this case, copy and pasting things in a way that, in my opinion, borderlines on infringement, right? So what I was talking about back in the day, when something like this would happen, usually the company would blame some rogue employee. And be like, this is the employee's fault. He clearly knew he was stealing something and purposely put it in, and we'll reprimand him and he's going to get fired, blah, blah, blah. But in this case, you can't blame rogue AI, right? Like, the AI is not supposed to, like, you're not expecting it to give you a result that is infringement, like copyright infringement, right? And in this case, in my opinion, it is infringing. Like, it is getting to that borderline, arguably in court, infringement, right? Of late, this has been more evident, right? That like a lot of these AI tools, and specifically in specific things, like I think there's like something called Genesis 3 or something like that, that is making game designs and all. But it's just clearly copying other games and not actually creating a new experience, to the point where it is just a cheap version of what it's copying, right? So I think this is the concern for AI that we need to have, right? It's where is the line of infringement, right? And again, as a personal person, right, there's two scenarios. If the AI is trained by someone small, like a small creator, right, like a small artist or something, a thing, and it copies its style to the level of infringement, that artist is probably not going to have the funds to fight legally, right, against the big corporation that owns the like AI tool, right? But in this case, we're talking about like EA using the AI tool and it potentially putting itself into legal hot water because of that AI tool with another large company like Activision, Microsoft, right? So, and this is going to be a little bit more common, where like big companies are using AI tools, not realizing they're infringing on other big companies' properties. And then the blame will need to be falling onto someone or something, right? More often than not, it'll probably be like either one company sues the other company and then the other company sues the AI tool that is creating the thing, which might be a big company, right? Also, this is going to have some monetary fall off for a lot of like companies that are like I said, for the AI companies, for the companies integrating AI into themselves as heavily as they are, right? There's going to be legal issues of infringement that is going to be on a grander scale that's more than just stealing from some small creator, right? And again, more times than not, it's not going to be quite as easy as blaming some rogue employee and then just sort of like paying off some small artist that they stole from. This is going to be on a much like higher level of infringement when it comes to like major corporations and all. And in this case, we're talking about like art and like game assets stuff that's getting stolen. And it's like, yeah, this was very obviously things, there'll be less obvious thing. Like, I've just been thinking about things like music, right? Like, you can literally, like, as a content creator, get a copyright notice for music, not even utilizing the whole song, but just a small portion of the song, or like even to the extent like in some of the Disney songs like Star Wars and all, just using something like that kind of like not even like a portion of the song, it's just literally like a minor segment of a tune that is so recognizably like this is this game, right? So when AI tools are copying and pasting things, even if it's like small elements that it's just putting into its designs, right? There is going to be some level of infringement that will eventually start happening on, again, when it's happening to a small creator, they're not going to be able to fight back. But when major corporations are being infringed upon, even if it's just a small aspect of their thing, like I said, with some of their Disney songs, even just the jingle of one of their songs is enough to like trigger a copyright notice, right? Nintendo is very litigious about their kind of like even mechanics in the game, right? So if something is even closely infringing on a mechanic, something could file a copyright notice, like these infringements, right? So I think this is where I think AI shows its limitations, right? It's just, it's not at a point, and I don't think it ever will be at a point where like, it's creating something unique to itself, right? And this problem, like, it sounds like, oh, that's big company problems, right? Like, who cares? Like, corporation suing another corporation that already owns billions of dollars, who gives a shit about them? And I agree, it's like, who the fuck gives a shit? But this is gonna affect like the stock market also, like in a big way. Already, like, you can see like AI tools, the way it's developing and all has like drastic effects on like the stock market as it's developing, right? Like massive implications, like on how it, like massive fluctuations in the stock market, just based on like how this AI tool is developing, right? So as things get more litigious, as things become more problematic, you're not only going to see like huge fluctuations in the stock market for the big corporations, but a lot of the companies that are utilizing those tools also will start fluctuating and all that, right? And it's like, again, who cares? It's like, dude, the stock market isn't just owned by the rich. There's a lot of people, like regular people, that have their life investments tied to the stock market success, right? And these are the people that are gonna like, it will start affecting that kind of financial thing to that point, right? So not only massive corporations are gonna like, not all of them, but some of them are like, again, I don't know what the like, potential like cataclysm style event could occur, right? But is it impossible to say like a company that's like invested completely billions of dollars into AI could see its ruin because of this investment, because of problems that it occurs because it just doesn't know how to create its own thing through its learning, right? It's how it, again, this is a kind of like unanswerable question at the moment. We'll see how it plays out, is more than anything. But yeah, this is what I've been thinking about. Like I, this is gonna happen more and more often too, right? Where like companies are using AI tools, and right now it's just copy and pasting things, and those copy and paste things might be not enough to merit unique new design, and it falls under that like infringible design element. Like it's arguable enough in court that it is infringing on the original design art that it trained from. Again, I'm not saying it's like I said, I see a lot of value to AI, right? There is going to be a lot of uses, especially for the common man. But at the moment, the big corporations that are investing heavily in it are risking, are risking big on a technology that potentially could cost it a lot more than it's already a corporation that's already investing billions of dollars on a thing, and then say you get massively like sued by a massive company for infringement, and maybe there's multiple infringements that you get sued for. You're gonna lose more money instead of gain, right? You're risking a lot. Again, I'm not a hater. Like what I'm hoping to see, right now, what I'm hoping for like AI to be able to do is I only stream, right? It'd be great if like it could take my stream and make shorts out of like segments, without deleting my stream, but create shorts, create like highlights, maybe create segments of my streams where like here right now I'm talking about something. It could create a video segment, and then I could easily just use those auto-edited stuff and put it into my YouTube channel, as opposed to forcing me to do all this editing that I don't understand how to, right? That would be a great tool for me, right? Like on a personal level, because I don't have those skills. Would it be stealing a job from a potential editor that I should be paying to do? Sure, yeah. But these are like the kind of things that AI tools would be useful for, right? Like I'm a small creator. I don't earn much from my streams. I don't really have the money to like be putting into paying editors. Should I learn how to edit myself? Yeah, probably. But also you have to like take into consideration when making my streams, I'll have to also be recording. So I need certain programs, I need certain hardware, I need certain things to make sure I'm recording things, and software that I need to be paying. Maybe I can't afford those things, right? It would be great just to be streaming and then have an AI tool do that stuff. And then I could maybe make small edits, right? Like, and I could just kind of do the cleanup on those things, right? And then publish what I've already created in my stream, but it's just sort of like made the videos. Like, arguably what I might do on this stream, right, is like I'll do this segment where I'm chatting about AI, and then I'll end, and then I'll continue streaming and playing, but once the stream goes into the archives, I'll have to crop out all the other segments, right? Whereas an AI tool could just sort of like do all that editing without necessarily me needing to delete another section or this, that, or the other. It just sort of does it automatically. There's so many things that it has the potential of doing, right? That could make my streams easier, right? So I'm not like saying like, and if that tool became available, yeah, I would use it, right? Because again, I can't afford some of that stuff. I don't know how to do that stuff. Having an AI tool be able to do it in a way where it makes it just easier for me to just do some quick cleanup and, you know, put out something that I've already created, but I need it cleaned up to a point where it's a little bit more accessible to like the masses, right? Like streams and all are great, right? But more times than not, most people will not want to watch the stream or watch this gameplay in its entirety. They're going to want it edited, cut short, trimmed down to the points where like they're getting the information they want, they're getting the like important aspects quickly. Shorts and stuff like that, you know, like, do I have a time to go through a 7-hour stream and try to remember exact points where like these are going to be like cool little segments for shorts, right? Probably not. If an AI tool could just recommend a bunch of them and then I'm like, oh yeah, I like this one, I like that one, or maybe if I change this a little bit, it'll be that good, right? That would be useful, right? Give me a bunch of suggestions and then I could decide like, oh yeah, these are good segments. Maybe even something like, you know, like I've been streaming for a year, right? Maybe it could give the highlights of the year, right? Like you have like the iPhone photo thing, right? And they do those memories, right? Where you'll play, you'll get like this kind of like, once in a while it'll like be like, these are the memories for this event, like your pets, memories from your pets, memories from like your family and all that, right? And it creates this like little photo album that plays out for you, that like gives you those memories. Those are fucking great, right? Like it's like, yeah, that's like a very nostalgic moment there, right? When you have those things shown to you, like those little memories. And that is an AI tool like working pretty nicely for you, right? Like it's not necessarily recreating those memories, it's just compiling those memories into something very nice for you. Something that technically you could do yourself, but would you bother? But now that it's done for you, it's pretty nice, right? Inarguably, like I find it difficult to see someone like bitch out AI technology when it comes to like, you know, just checking out like your iPhone photos in a way where it kind of gives you the highlights, the best highlights of that topic that it's creating the album for, right? But yeah, that is technically the usage of AI, isn't it? But again, in a positive way, right? It technically might not have been something anyone did. Technically, you could have probably paid someone to do it, so someone lost a job, or you lost, you know, like, I don't know, like, you could have done it or something, right? Certainly, back in the day, people creating those, like, memory albums and stuff like that, that was a business model in photography. So yeah, having some AI tool do it for you absolutely did end someone's career, right? You like saying like, no, that's unacceptable. No, I would have never been able to pay someone, and I wouldn't bother to pay someone to give me my album memories for the year for my pets, right? Like it's not something I would have paid for, right? But technically. So again, not hating on AI, but concerned about like the usage. And like right now, a lot of companies are like using it as if it's like, I use AI, so I'm immune to the infringement that it's sometimes very blatantly doing, and sometimes not so blatant, but still infringement regardless. sort of wasn't paying attention to the game as much as I could have been, I'll admit. Sometimes I was running in directions where I was like, dude, where am I going? Blabbing, what to do. Right. Before we continue playing, I'll keep chill playing beyond this, but I just want to do a quick little outro. So again, I'm not saying like this is illegal what EA did and they should be sued by Activision and all. That's not the point of this conversation. Okay? But the point of the conversation is this has that potential of infringement, right? And the reason I sort of like was wondering what is going on here is mainly because I just wondered why we didn't hear anything about any like copyright infringement and all that. And it got me thinking like maybe like, again, I don't know what AI tool Battlefield is using, right? But it would sort of be funny, right? Like if this was utilizing like an AI tool that was owned by Microsoft, right? So Activision is infringed by EA, and EA utilized Microsoft's AI tool to infringe on Activision, right? Again, I'm not saying this is what happened, right? But this is sort of that humorous, like, kind of like absurdity in the situation that could be possible, right? So technically, if Activision wanted to sue this, like if this was the actual scenario, which I'm not saying it is, right? But if Activision wanted to copyright infringe, like sue someone for this, they would technically need to be suing the AI company owned by Microsoft for utilizing their product in an infringible way, right? Or putting out an infringible version of their product, right? Again, not saying this is what happened, but that was like the kind of humorous like thought process that was going on in the back of my mind. Like, what the fuck? Again, what might very well be the thing is like the company, the AI tool that, again, nothing's even been confirmed whether an AI tool was utilized for this scenario. So this could very well have been a rogue employee that did something stupid, right? But it is definitely strange, right? And it just got me thinking, because again, something else that triggered this thought process, but like I started thinking about this, but like it sort of like reinforced this idea of like how companies are sort of going to start infringing on each other because of the usage of AI, right? There's again, like I think something like some AI tool right now is causing a lot of like hoopla in the stock market, in the gaming industry. I think it's like called like Genesis 3 or some shit like that. I don't know. I didn't, again, I'm pretty stupid when it comes to AI generally, right? But apparently what you could do is you could put in prompts into this AI tool and it could kind of create games, a very limited version of a game. Like it's still like very bare bones, but it could create a game for you. And then it sort of like had this kind of negative effect on the gaming industry. Like a lot of the stock market kind of took a hit in the gaming industry, right? It like massively took a hit. In fact, like it caused a kind of a scare, right? Like if AI tools are going to replace the gaming industry, right? This is the thought process. But when you look closer at like what this like AI tool was doing, again, I don't remember its exact name, so I'm not confident with the names and stuff like that and what the specific details were. But what apparently was happening is it was just copy and pasting. Like if you put in a prompt, I want this game, but like this, right? It was basically just copying the game that you were prompting it to like be inspired by, as opposed to like creating something fresh and new, right? And again, this is the thing, like these AI tools don't have the ability to, at the moment, to create something actually unique and different. at the moment, it is often blurring the lines on infringement from the things that it's been trained by. Uh, all right, Rick, thanks, man. I'm gonna keep playing for a bit. Like, just give me a second, though, right? So at the moment, like a lot of the things it's utilizing for training, it's just ends up infringing in a very blurry way more times than not. But at other times, it's very blatantly infringing on something, right? And again, in certain scenarios, you've given permission for these tools to learn from you, right? So when it blurs the line on infringement, it becomes a lot harder legally to blame it like for the infringement, right? But then there's other times where it's a little bit clearer cut that it's kind of taken the assets from this section, this alternate area, and then the copyright infringement becomes a little bit more concerning, right? Like in this mass case, like I would be concerned if this was a regular person that created this design, they would be blamed for theft, like copyright theft, like stealing the assets of the Call of Duty Ghost mask from the character Ghost, like the Ghost mask from the character and the franchise. Whereas if an AI tool, because the AI tool used it, did it blur the line enough when stealing those assets, or is it not, right? And again, I'm using this because I'm playing the game, and this is sort of what got me thinking about it. But this is happening in so many other aspects. Like there's a big hoopla, right? Where a lot of people were using the Studio Ghibli art style to create pictures or recreate pictures in that art style. And it got to the point where the controversy of the Studio Ghibli style was so blatant, it felt like infringement, right? And then further complicated by the fact that like Call of Duty in Black Ops 7 utilized this art style in a lot of their assets for like calling cards and stuff like that, right? So again, it's a art style that is very unique to this company called Studio Ghibli. So, but it's not the same. So technically it's not being infringed upon, and then gets further kind of blurred and corrupted when a massive corporation utilizes that filter for their assets, right? Yeah, that's again, and these examples are across the board on all like fronts of this AI usage at the moment. What is it doing, and how much of it is it creating its own version of it versus how much is it just copy and pasting, and what are the lines of infringement technically? At the moment, nothing is going on as far as that goes, right? No one is suing no one yet. But once those things start getting a little more egregious, you will see a lot more litigation happening from massive corporations. And I think that will have not only negative impact on a lot of the companies that have invested in the AI tools, but also just generally on the stock market and corporations that are utilizing the tools for, just not, they don't own the AI thing, but they're using it, right? You have to pay for the usage of the AI tools, right? It's not free, it's not this, it's not that for a lot of the case scenarios, right? So I think there is going to be some sort of issues that can develop in the future that need to be addressed and should be concerning for the public and should be extra concerning for the corporations that are putting a lot of their eggs in this AI basket, right? Also, this is a joke, okay? I'm just going to throw this joke in there because I wanted to throw this in the intro, but I forgot to, okay? Again, I technically do not have any issues with AI. Like, I'm not a hater of it, right? But it is sort of funny, right? When you see the backlash that AI gets and all, like, it's fun to see that, right? Like it's even though like I'm not against it and I see the value to it in certain scenarios and all, but it is also fun to see like how stupid sometimes this can get, right? Like how sometimes the corporations pushing the boundaries of the usage and all has the backlash that it deserves to have, right? So just something I've been thinking about is like how Microsoft got really mad or like not too thrilled with the term slop in relation to like AI, right? So what ends up happening is you got a lot of people screaming micro slop instead of Microsoft. So I thought of it something like a little further than micro slop is not only do we have micro slop, but they created the video game console, the slop box, right? So it's no longer Xbox, it's the slop box. And the slop box creates the slop of duty game or Call of Duty game, but let's be real, it's using a lot of AI slop, so maybe they should consider being redubbed the slop of duty. And currently, we are playing the Slop Ops 7, right? So Microslop, using its console, Slopbox, playing Slop of Duty with the sub-franchise Slop Ops 7. Just really put themselves in a position where slop might not necessarily be an inaccurate term for the crap they're putting into the industry. But yeah, it's just a joke. Again, I enjoy all of the Microsoft nonsense and thing, but it is also just humorous on the sidelines seeing this play out the way it is. But yeah, I think on a corporate level, Microsoft in particular, who have put a lot of their eggs in the AI basket, needs to maybe rein it in a little bit and reconsider, like, yeah, this is going to be a very useful tool, and there's going to be a lot of individuals and corporations that, on a financial level, make a killing of the future of AI, right? But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of like companies and people and things that are going to be ruined by the investment into AI. Be careful, Don't put all your eggs into the AI basket. Make sure you diversify. And, right now it's like that, big thing, like someone's going to make it huge. Someone's going to make billions and maybe even trillions of AI. And everyone wants to be the one who does that. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of companies that invested billions and will probably no longer exist because of AI, right? The future is very risky. This is a very, very risky industry move, putting so much into the AI thing. If I had a personal recommendation is, put some into AI, invest some into AI, but play it slow. For billion-dollar companies like Microsoft and all that, they can put quite a bit in, but I'd play it slow. If I was a more moderate company and stuff like that, I wouldn't invest everything into AI. I'd invest some and let it develop and try to integrate it as it develops slowly into the company. So things get ironed out and you're not risking your entire business just because you wanted to make it a quick, big buck off the AI boom, right? I think those that are trying to make that quick, big buck off the AI boom, there's going to be a lot of them like homeless kind of companies. Whereas, there'll be a few, not a lot, there'll be a few that are living in the, galactic mansion because of like their investment into AI. But there'll be a significantly larger portion of them that'll be homeless because they've invested too much, right? So you need to be a little careful with that. And again, I think that concept of replacing humans with AI, very stupid. Very stupid. Because it's easy to see that this copy and paste aspect of AI, that its inability to actually create something that is very uniquely itself, like that it owns and all. Again, like even the ownership of this like AI like creation is such a blurry line right now. Like the AI prompters that are like fucking pushing like I'm an AI prompter that is so talented, blah blah blah. And it's like, what are you even doing? Who's even creating what and all, like that blurry line of what and who and the ownership and who's the creator and all that and all it's something that if you don't if you have your own thing going for you, keep that going and slowly integrate AI into your own thing to make sure you're protecting yourself. And that applies to not only individuals but corporations. Think of protecting yourself as a corporation needing to protect itself also from the potential larger downfalls that AI will eventually hit, pitfalls that the AI will eventually hit. So yeah, that's just a little thought process idea wanted to chat about. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out my old streams if you haven't already, and I will catch you later. Bye. Yeah, I know, weird way of doing my stream today, but it's just something I was thinking about, and again, don't know personally how this will play out, but interested to witness it.